Before we jump into the video, you may have noticed a new small icon on the thumbnail of this video. You will start seeing these as they are to help communicate what type of video it will be. There are three main categories, being Revival, which is a cardiogram, Custom, which is a TIG torch, and Restoration, which are spanners. Now let's get to the video. Alright guys, so here is a little side project, and this is all Seth's stuff. We have a CB1100F frame. We've got some new triples. And what is this stuff off of?
It's early 2000s CBR 600.
Okay. I'm gonna make that and that go on that.
The Honda CB1100F is a one-year-only production bike in 1983. These were the fastest production bike at the time, with 108 horsepower and a quarter-mile ET of 11.13 seconds, which was very impressive. We will talk more about the history of this specific bike later on, but for now the goal is to build a very proper resto mod that pays respect to the original machine. To do that, we're using many CBR parts to bring the bike into the modern era.
Well, we're in the beginning stages of the fork swap on the CB1100F. So this is the 1100F lower triple end stem. That thing is super long. But the really cool thing is that the bearing section here, the lower section, is the same on the CBR 600. And then the upper bearing section is also the same. So that means we can swap triples. We can press that stem into the CBR lower and use the stock CB1100F bearings, and this thing will go right on. Save, we'll have to make some different steering stops, that kind of thing, but relatively easy.
I like it.
Alright, well, we have the CBR triple pressed. Now it's time for the actual 1100F. Now for this, I made this little dealio right here, and that is because this stem actually has a, this is keeping it from rotating, so it has like a little notch built in. And so I can't just put like a socket on that because it won't press square. So what this is for is just to have a nice base to press against. And being this one is clamped in the back, it's probably not going to take nearly as much pressure as the CBR, but there's nothing wrong with going the extra mile. Oh yeah, took nothing. I tried hitting it with a hammer last night, but it didn't do anything, which is fun.
Ready for the press upgrade yet?
Yeah, I'm ready for the upgrade of not leaking everywhere. Guys, I tried saving money by buying a used press. I got it for $100, but sure enough, bad leak. Cool.
Nice.
A few moments later.
Well, quick change of plans here. This is the CBR stem that came out of the triple, obviously. Unknowingly, it has a very slight larger diameter where it presses in. So what that means is that the CB1100 stem will not fit the triple. It has too much slack. So what we're gonna do, chop this thing up, and then we have an old stem from an XS850 I did, which is the same diameter, but it's thick. So we're going to extend the CBR stem. So to do that, it had to come out anyway. This is fine. So we're gonna lop this thing in half, build in an extension, and then weld it back up.
Yes, the stick out on the part is not ideal. There is a big hurdle with this particular mini lathe, as the through hole is only 3/4 of an inch on this model, and that means I can't clamp the piece further in than the end of the chuck. Because of this, we take very light cuts and hold our breath the entire time.
All right, the stem is mocked up here. As you can see, we got it in a piece of angle iron to hold it square. And I'm getting ready to just kind of tack it on a couple spots. And then clamp it up and fully weld it. Okay, press button, down things happen. Just converted this thing to air. So we have the stem welded, and then it's just setting in the triple here, and then we have the old triple as a base to press against, and then the plate that the old triple was pressed against on this base. So anyway, everything's gonna be all square and awesome and stuff, so yeah, go for it. So nice. Let's get it close and then get it lined up.
It's so slippery from all the oil from the old one.
Press those together. There you go.
So many things.
I think you got a little ways to go. You'll feel it start to, see it started to deflect there. Give it one more bump. All right, you're probably good.
This thing is nice.
Let go all the way up. Yeah, it looks good. It's probably just gonna have barely a little tension on there.
It's the double, triple.
The double, triple. Triple, double.
Ooh. There we go.
There we go, one extended stem on the CBR triple. Now it's crunchy because there's a bunch of metal dust and stuff in here, but that's okay.
Oh, I think I got that measurement perfect.
You saying I didn't get it perfect before?
No, I would never say such a thing.
I didn't really measure anything. Yeah, that looks good. We'll have to take the big outer ring off of that thing.
Yeah, it looks kind of goofy.
This guy has a nice taper built into it, so it can clear those threads.
Oh.
Money.
Might have to put a washer on that, I don't know.
Past that sticker.
Oh, that's what it is.
There it is. Perfect. She's low.
Whoa, low rider.
With that extended fork, it just pushes the lower triple down there.
Oh, that's gonna be so cool.
Sweet.
Something like,
Yeah, if it was like an inch higher or something. I'm sure they probably make a extender. Not a ton of length there. Nice. Right there. It doesn't look bad. It honestly, it may end up being fine that low. Who knows?
yeah, it'll come up quite a bit.
So the only change we've done to the bike so far is removing the stock steering stop plate right here. So just clean that up. There's also a big plate up here for the ignition switch. So the steering lock was on the ignition switch originally and it caught on a bracket up here, but we got rid of that. And then we'll re-engineer a steering stop. That's actually gonna go on the back side. So there'll be a plate that welds around there. And then these guys will come in contact with that. So another project. It's looking pretty good. Well, this thing is looking pretty awesome. What year forks were these from?
04.
2004 CBR 600. So everything is adjustable on these, and you know, they do look maybe a little short. The idea is to maybe get some extenders that would thread into the ends here, and that way you can move the whole fork assembly back down. We'll see if that has to happen, but I don't know, setup, ride height wise, it doesn't look too bad.
No, as it sits, that's a pretty comfortable position right there.
Yeah. So you are a longtime 1100F fan, and this is definitely a passion project of yours.
It's been a long time in the making. I don't know what, probably 8 years now,
Yeah.
I think. So the goal originally was to restore this bike. It had sat in the basement during a flood. It had saltwater damage. It was in horrible condition.
I'm gonna put up some photos of it as he's talking here.
Yeah. And originally I was going to restore it, but the suspension obviously was horrible. The forks were just completely roached, and that got me thinking, you know what? I've seen a lot of resto mods done on the F series bikes, and they look really good. So my goal was to just go ahead, and since I couldn't use the suspension anyway, so I had a 04 CBR 600 laying around that I was parting out a few months ago, and I decided to just go ahead and take the suspension off of that and retrofit it to the 1100. Just kind of working with what I had, and that's how we wound up to this stage.
Yeah, and so originally that first clip, I showed you this swing arm and wheel, and that's from the same bike.
Yeah.
But this swing arm here is 1 year newer, from what we understand, right?
it's a year newer, but it's the next generation of CBR 600.
Yeah, so there's a slight difference in the front end and stuff, and of course the shock mounting. But this is like an NOS swing arm that you grab from Archway that you just happen to have on the shelf.
Just chilling in the floor.
And we got this to barely squeeze in. So the next step is going to be to actually make all the bushings and stuff for this. We have to figure out exactly how we want to try to get the swing arm mounted in here. And then there will be a vertical shock, and then it's going to have the linkage system. And so we're just going to kind of re-engineer this lower bar here and then brace it up, and that's going to be the mount for the lower linkage. So some of this stuff here. But I think it's going to be really cool.
Yeah, once we get the suspension sorted out, obviously right now we're focused on the swing arm and just getting things structurally to work together. But after that, I'm probably going to follow the theme of Restomod a little bit with, like you can see here, these are more modern CBR controls.
That he just happened to have on the shelf again.
Just happened to grab them.
But I really prefer a modern control versus, let's say, an aftermarket control. So these, they're going to work. They're very intuitive to use, and I can always modify the wiring to adapt them to whatever I need. But those are just nice compact switches. What's not to like?
Yeah, it'll match the tastefully updated things that have been done to this bike.
Yeah.
So along with that, it'll probably get some more modern-ish looking rear sets. Probably make a wiring harness. Just kind of bring it into the modern century a little bit.
Yep.
While cosmetically keeping it pretty similar to how it would be.
I mean, you have to have the factory light because those things are too cool looking. And if you can find, the 1100s had the cowl on it, right?
Oh, the bikini fairing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have one.
Yeah, so that's got to go back on.
Oh, absolutely. That's the whole look.
Yeah. It'll look like an 1100F, but it'll just have good suspension and stuff. So it's going to be pretty sweet. But I hope you guys are excited about this project of his. It's kind of an after hours thing, so we'll work on it kind of whenever we can. But the next update you'll see on it will be on the rear swing arm, trying to get that mounted and making this thing like an official roller. So who knows? If you guys have any questions though, hit us up in the comments. We'll be sure to get right back to you. But anyway, I hope you guys liked it. Hope to see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.